Process Creation Flow Objects Tab Optimization. The swim lanes map in the Process Creation form has been optimized to offer modelers a more user-friendly and organized interface. In addition to the possibility of configuring gateways to build process diagrams with added complexity from this form. To make it easier to view the graph in real time, the map is now split horizontally. It is divided so that the flow objects are displayed on the left and the map on the right. Modelers can see their process diagram being built right next to the flow objects they add, without needing to scroll down if too many objects are created. To simplify the documentation of new process steps, created flow objects can be collapsed and opened at the modeler's convenience. This new user interface allows the modeler to keep organization in their work platform. This makes it easy to find flow objects by name and reopen them to make changes. We have also added a new feature, which is the ability to add gateways. By selecting the gateway shape from the drop-down menu, two paths will open. Modelers can start by naming them. We recommend creating one path at a time by adding all flow objects that are part of the first path for better visualization and efficiency. When the first path is complete, find the second path and do the same until you get the desired diagram. Inside the gateway paths, you can always add other additional gateways. By allowing gateways to be created directly from this form, we are delivering a way for modelers to create flow objects on the go and produce business processes in a less basic but equally convenient way. EPC now includes review cycles to provide organizations with an easy and automatic way to keep their objects reviewed and updated regularly to prevent your content and data from becoming outdated. Let's say our organization requires business processes to be reviewed every 3 months to ensure they are still handled the same way. To implement a review cycle, the object must be assigned its review frequency from the governance module. The frequency is fixed at 3 months for our processes, as mentioned in the compliance requirements of our organization. Then, to trigger a review cycle, it is important that the object in question has a published version and an associated resource, group, or role as accountable, because they will be the ones who will take care of the review task. When a process is ready for review, accountable users receive an email notification and can access the To-Do module to view and filter pending reviews. Once redirected to the item details page, the review cycle box asks you to switch to the published version to ensure that you are reviewing the version visible to business users and not a draft. Once the appropriate review of the object is completed, the cycle will resume in 3 months from now to again ensure that business processes are still in line with corporate standards. Ability to create records with limited security permissions. Users with Read Published or Read Latest security permissions can now create document records. This allows users to create copies of published templates in folders where they have write or delete permission so that they can edit them according to their needs and use them in their projects or tasks. In many organizations, managers or teams are responsible for creating and maintaining documentation templates, such as this compliance-related form. Employees have access to these published templates and can create editable records of them. Here, employees can choose the destination folder. If your user has Read Published on an object, you won't see it in this window. Take, for example, the IT and compliance sets that only appear when we are in Published view. If your user has Read Latest on an object, you'll notice icons next to sets and folders that tell employees where they don't have permission to edit. They won't be able to create their record there. When the destination folder is selected, employees can deselect the Mass Update button if they don't want to edit the original template's attributes. Otherwise, the attributes window will open and employees can make changes there. When creating the record, EPC will toggle to the latest view and employees can start filling and editing their record right away. Customizable risk matrices. With EPC 13.3, it is now easier to manage your organization's business risks as users now have the ability to modify gross risk analysis in an object without affecting the risk itself, and system administrators can create customizable risk matrices for each of your business needs. Let's say we need to reassess the risk of leaking data on a loan process. When processing the customer data, it would have a higher impact if the company is changing the loan control software installed on-premise to one as a service. Here, I have opened two windows to show you that changes made directly to the leak data risk always remain independent of the gross risks changed in the object. By associating the previously created data leak risk, it is possible to modify the impact of the gross risk to very high and the probability to high, which will change the priority and the score. Once completed, the adjustments made will be reflected in the risk analysis section of the process. After making the necessary adjustments and refreshing the other window, you will see that no gross risk metrics have been affected. This feature ensures that your risks are more accurate per object, as one risk can impact distinct business elements differently. Additionally, system administrators can create customizable risk matrices for each of their business needs, whether due to different risk types, departments, industries, subsidiaries, countries, etc. Let's take as an example this company, which needs a risk matrix for its activities in the financial industry, such as the management of invoices, loans, expenses, etc. Another for its activities in the property, civil liability, and miscellaneous vehicle insurance sector. Once the administrator has created these types, he can view and modify the new matrices in the Risk tab according to the standards established for each of the business sectors. This feature may also be useful when a company has multiple business entities that have different auditors who do not adopt the same risk standards. Thus, it is possible to create several distinct matrices to adapt to all the different standards. Once the system administrator has customized the new matrices, when creating new risk objects, the applicable matrix type can be selected by modelers from the drop-down menu in the Risk Analysis section. The values and colors that modelers will see here can be re-evaluated based on the type of matrix they choose. Once all the values are inserted and the object saved, users will be able to view the matrix specifically in the Risk Profile section. Homepage widget enhancements. It is now possible to choose the content that will be displayed in widgets, providing a quick access to objects that are filtered by status. Additionally, users can customize the multilingual names of their widgets. Users now have the ability to filter the content displayed in their widgets in three ways. The first option, which is published only, will show objects that are published to your widget. This option is useful for displaying only published templates, for example. By clicking on the desired object, EPC will automatically toggle you to published mode, and you will be redirected to the object's details page, where you can then perform all the actions necessary for the task. The second option, which is Show Latest, will show all objects whether they are published or in progress. This option can be useful if you always work in the Published view, or if you wish to see only and all objects associated with your role or resource in the RASCI VS matrix that you need to work on. The third option is the User Profile setting. When this option is selected, the displayed content will automatically change according to the display mode chosen by the user. For example, if we are in the Published view, the content displayed in our widget will be the first option, i.e. Published only. If we change our view mode to Show Latest using the toggle button, the content displayed in the widget will be option 2, i.e. Published objects and drafts. This option is useful for changing content with a toggle button without constantly changing the filter setting. Lastly, users can customize the multilingual names of their widgets. After clicking on the globe icon in the settings, input the desired names. The ones displayed here are all the content languages supported by your particular system. Therefore, different options may be available in your EPC. When you switch between languages in your profile, the name of the widget will change accordingly. This allows multilingual organizations that may operate in multiple locations to let their employees choose names based on the content language they are working in. EPC's security feature has evolved to direct permissions. Organizations can now define the security of groups, users, or roles by granting them permissions on environments, sets, folders, and objects all independently. This is convenient for organizations with many departments or employees to control sensitive files and be specific about who has access to what information. Security association tracking is now clear and easy to report without complex documentation. Additionally, this feature increases system performance as almost no computing time is required. Let's say we want employees in the marketing department to be able to edit the contents of our marketing management folder. To do so, we need to navigate to the Security Edit. Here, we have a new and improved interface. You now have the ability to add groups to the security assignment, allowing you to quickly give access to a large number of users at once. For this example, we'll search for the marketing team group. Once added, we can choose the permission to assign them between these. Read Published gives users access to the published version of the object only. Read Latest allows them to see all versions of the object, including draft versions. Write allows them to see all versions and edit the object. Delete allows them to see all versions, edit, and delete the object. With this permission, team members who are modelers can also edit the security of the object. For this example, we'll grant them Write. By clicking on the Apply to Children button, the permission will be propagated to all sub-objects of this folder. Inside the Marketing Management folder, the Expenses subfolder is confidential, and we don't want the marketing group to be able to edit it or see draft versions. We can go change the group's permission to Read Published and click on Apply to Children to spread the permission to documents inside the folder. On the other hand, if your security needs are simpler, it is possible to set these permissions at the environment level. Setting security this way allows you to assign permissions at once for all objects in the environment. When you've selected the desired permission, don't forget to click on Apply to Children to propagate the permission. The Environment Admin checkbox is also in this form. By selecting it, you'll set the group as Environment Admin. This same form is also available in the Users tab, where all these features can be applied to users individually. There is another layer of security that can be added from here, in the Authorize To column. Modelers can be granted or denied the right to publish and merge objects. Environment admins can be granted or denied the right to import and export EPC content. With this additional layer of authorization, permissions are more granular and precise to ensure greater security on your system and data. The same applies not only to groups, but to users as well. You can open the User tab and set the environment permission, with or without Environment Admin. Authorizations can also be applied to users by clicking on Publish, Merge, Import, and Export. Remember, as an extra security layer, import and export can only be chosen, but applied only on environment admins. Customizable Purge Period. The purge period is a configuration to choose how long to archive deleted objects in years according to your organization's auditing standards, while optimizing the use of file space. This setting can be set as the system default or customized for each object. When your EPC objects become out of date, for example, when you no longer offer a product or a business process changes completely, you delete them, and these objects are archived. The purge period, i.e. the period of time after archived objects will be permanently wiped from your system, is set by default to 13 years in the Advanced tab of the System Administration section. It is possible for administrators to modify this default setting in accordance with a corporate auditing standard. For this example, we'll change it to 10. Note that this parameter is indicated in years. As can be seen in the Archive tab of the Environment Administration section, objects will be purged in 10 years from the date they were deleted. This gives a very flexible time frame for organizations to restore prematurely or mistakenly deleted objects. Users can perform the system purge by clicking on the Purge button here. The system will send a code to your email to proceed with the purge. Additionally, users can customize the purge date per object directly from the respective edit form or by mass editing. In the Properties tab, in the section that is the purge period of the object, users will be able to see the default system purge period, which we changed earlier to 10 years. Next to it, users can enter the desired number of years between 0 and 200 to customize the period of that particular object. After this is done and saved, users can see the object's purge period in the Details page, as well as in the list page in the purge period column. We have changed the purge period in admin settings, and we have also changed the purge period specifically to the object displayed on the screen. Let's say that this template is no longer used because the service to which it relates to is no longer offered in our organization, so we decided to delete it. Then we can go to the admin panel to see the deleted objects and see that it is flagged for purge in the archive. And we could take also some actions. We can restore the object, or we can purge the expired objects. Tree and search enhancements. Several improvements have been introduced in version 13.3 to make it easier to navigate the tree and find objects, including the ability to resize the hierarchical tree. Tree expand icons, the plus icons, are moved to the left. Deferred loading in the Documents module tree. The default hierarchical filter is now set to current level, and subtype and category filters added to search. In all EPC modules, the hierarchical tree can be expanded and collapsed horizontally simply by clicking and dragging its right side. If the tree has been collapsed, users can use the bottom scroll bar to view object titles. These features are also available in Graph and Details views. This allows better visibility of object names, which can sometimes be too long to display in full with the default size. Additionally, the hierarchy development icons, denoted here by a plus icon, have been moved to the left to ensure that users can develop objects in the tree no matter where its edge has been moved. When users select a set or a folder, the default hierarchy filter is now set to current level, allowing to view only the folders they contain. In this way, navigation is easily done in the sublevels in order to access the desired object. Only in the Documents module, the tree will show the Load All button, which allows to load child folders on demand when the hierarchy filter is set to current level and below or no hierarchy. This way, you only load the direct path when browsing to a file, maintaining the full parent folder path, so you know exactly where you are in the big picture. If you want to drill up, you can still do so using this feature. You also avoid performance issues organizations with a multitude of deep folder levels can face, because it considerably reduces the calculation time. For now, this feature only appears if a set or folder has more than 9 subfolders. If you want to find an object quickly without navigating through the tree structure, you can do an advanced search and apply our new filters. First, select the object type to enable the subtype and category filters. It is possible to select more than one from the drop-down list to obtain more precise results. When searching using one of these filters, the results will include all objects defined by that subtype and/or category. So, if you have several documents with the same name but belonging to different categories, you will get exactly what you are looking for in the results page. AI Document Process Mining Parser Enhancements. With Interfacing's AI Document Process Mining Parser, organizations can mass upload or update all RASCI VS matrix values for organizational units, assets, and roles, export performance indicator values at once, and assign analysis assessments to processes. Using your Excel or Word documentation, you can bulk upload your business processes and their organizational units directly into EPC from Parser, without having to give your modelers the tedious task of creating them manually. By tagging the names of your assets, roles, and organizational units, you can assign them a value from the RASCI VS matrix at the same time. The object will be associated with the process, where you can always view it in the association column. If we take a look at our EPC system, you'll notice that the role, asset, and organizational unit, and their RASCI values are all listed in the responsibilities section of the exported process. Another useful way to use Parser is to import all your performance, control, or result indicators with just a few clicks. After tagging the Human Resources set and the Recruitment Effectiveness objective name, you can start tagging the respective KPIs. From Parser, it is possible to import all values needed to have your KPIs ready to view for your users, including their names, measure value, measurement units, range type, range values, and much more additional information. When it comes to range types, there are 4 options. For a clearer explanation, we have opened a window to show you the types available on EPC. First, we have red, yellow, green, denoted in the document with the initials RYG. Second, we have green, yellow, red, denoted GYR. If we follow logic, then we would have GYRYG and RYGYR here. As for range values, these are the numbers you normally write here. For the first two types, you will only have to define 2 values, and for the other 2, you will have to define 4. After tagging and parsing all the KPIs, we can export the content to EPC with a single click. By refreshing the Performance module page, you will find your hierarchy in the tree as well as the performance threshold, the chosen range, and the current performance value of each KPI. Last but not least, in addition to being able to import your processes from Parser, it is also possible to associate analysis values to flow objects, such as path, value type, waste type, and all other values options available in the EPC governance module. Not only can you do this for tasks, but also for sub-processes, start events, gateways, and end events. This way, you can upload your already designed analysis reports in Parser and easily export all data to EPC, without having to redo the work of entering analysis results into each EPC object. If we go to the Analysis tab in the Governance module of our EPC system, you will notice the flow objects are now exported with all their analysis values assigned.